Welcome everybody to the MARG Change Leader Forum, where we are hosting the Spotlight Series this year and having our change professionals come and share their journey and best practices on AI, culture, and merger and acquisitions. Today we have with us Sangeeta Rajan, Director Change Management of Accenture. Sangeeta is with more than 26 years of experience covering the domains of banking, HR, L&D, and of course, change management. And today, in this episode 6 of Spotlight, we are discussing the forever misinterpreted and misunderstood and the fuzzy subject, as we call it, culture and change management. So welcome, Sangeeta.
Thank you so much. And thanks for the great opportunity for sharing my thoughts and point of view with a larger forum.
Thank you so much for coming. So straight jumping into the topic itself. So for the purpose of this conversation, let us start with what is your version of when you talk about an organization culture in context of the business, or what problems can it solve during change?
Yeah. So organizational culture, if you ask me, is indeed very complex, and it is the heart of any organization. Because if you look at it, the way, the heart of our body is, making, helping our entire system function, the nervous system, all of that. I'm just trying to give a, example. The same way, I think the culture is at the heart of any organization in, the kind of values, beliefs, the practices, the norms that they have. And that shows us what is the personality of the organization. That is how I define culture. And it is so important for the growth, the progression, and the way the organization is looked upon. Because I think today, more than the margins and profitability, while those have always been important, but I think now the ethos, the culture has become so critical. People don't want to join an organization only for the salary package. They also want to join about what this company brings in, what kind of innovation, what kind of a thought process, what kind of a culture, how am I going to be able to contribute? How am I going to be given the liberty, the seat on the table? All of that has become so critically important that culture is becoming even more important for any organization's success.
I completely get that. And as you're saying that for organizations, success culture is important. So while doing a change, culture becomes very important. But per se, do you see you getting into the situation where you're just doing a culture change of the organization, or you do that only in context of any other change?
No, I would say that it all, it's multifold. We could do a culture change because of the focus areas, or a paradigm shift that the company wants to take.
Okay.
We could also be doing, I would say, any culture of an organization should be refined and reviewed at a periodical level, because change is become, it's become so much of the way we, the way we function, the way we are. There is constant change everywhere. So, and the way we look at the people who are joining us, the talent, just look at the talent, the way they are changing, the expectations, the alpha, beta, Gen Z. There are so many kinds of talent, the kind of people, what they want to do, how they want to contribute, right? So with this kind of new fresh talent coming in, the millennials, the old timers also. So how do we make all of this into these are pieces of a puzzle? How do we put them all together? And that's the culture that keeps it all together. So the culture is so critical that I feel that it cannot be that one time I build a culture or I define the culture and it is it is written on stone all the time. It needs evaluation, refinement at a periodical level. And that is when you are ensuring that you are always adapting yourself to the change. You are in the forefront, and you're not in some, 10 years back, 15, 2 decades back. You are running with time, with the change.
True. It is very critical, the way you explained it. And from seeing how organizations are going, it's so obvious the importance of it. But why do you think it is still not taken as the first thing to be looked at? Or what are the blind spots you think of the leaders have?
Yeah. Very, very correct. I think culture and change needs to be given much more importance. I think the change is happening now. I do see companies investing, looking at it much more than what had happened a couple of years back. They need to give more importance, because it's like, if you want to define success, if you want to define your profitability margins and your revenue, all of that, they don't know that this is the soft piece which is going to make this happen. That is the kind of power an organizational culture has. Because how is all of this going to happen with people? And what is culture dependent on people? So the talent, and I think the blind spot is where we try and define the culture or define the ecosystem based on what we think is right. It has to be co-creation. It has to be a discovery. It has to be done with our people. What do our people want? So, for example, I was in another meeting where we were talking about, the talent. Mm-hmm. And we may think that, we are giving so many, opportunities. We are giving so many, benefits to the employee. They must be very happy. But actually, the employee must be expecting something else. So it is so important that when we are defining the culture, we also bring the people, co-create with them. What is good culture for you? What do you expect from an organization? I think that is a blind spot. Because the companies and the leadership try and do it themselves to see, what do we want to see in the organization? Versus saying, what do everyone want to see? It's more of all. And it is never about, I think hierarchy will fall very soon. It's all going to be a flat hierarchy where everybody is doing their pieces based on their roles and responsibilities. Anyway, the boss system, the dominance is anyway gone. Far is the time when people call people sir, madam, all that is anyway gone, right? Now the next leap is just going to be that I don't think we'll ever have a pyramid. The pyramid system itself will start hazing off. It may still there be for definition purpose, but actual meaning of a pyramid will keep coming down. And it'll be more of how we are all working together towards a purpose. And it is all going to be, it's not going to be that we keep doing the same thing all the time. Okay. It's going to be evolving. And that is when the culture, the ecosystem, the bringing everyone together, I think that is so important.
So again, when something, as you said, right in the beginning, these things that if I want to reach there, this is my culture that you were saying that, while defining the success of anything, if we define what will kind of help to get that success is so very important. But do you think that our definitions of these mindset shifts or these critical behaviors are very well defined, or how do we measure these shifts?
Yeah, that is, I think we have a long way to go there. I think measurement in any of these areas has always been a very, very tough space. I think even learning, when I was leading learning, we found it so difficult to measure effectiveness of learning. You can measure how many people went, what they did.
Yeah.
That I think the only way to measure success or measure the impact of the culture is to ensure that the employees are psychologically safe. They have that confidence and trust to come and tell us and give us real-time feedback. I think culture can only be measured through feedback. And that feedback cannot be through a typical survey or a typical method that we have today. It has to be thought through and be more innovative in terms of saying what are the behaviors that we see employees demonstrate. And that defines the success of our culture. So we have to be much more creative in measurement versus saying, I'm going to send a survey, I'm going to send 10 questions. And obviously, they are under pressure, right? Yeah. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to be judged. No, it be that way. So the measurement aspect completely has to shift from a very, answer questions, closed questions, open question to to analyzing, understanding behavior, how people respond. The response is the one which will tell us how people enjoy in the company. What do they expect? What is the culture? What are they expecting? So I think that is the shift. We have a long way to go there. But yes, I think, we have to start thinking about all of that much more.
More, absolutely. So, you are explaining these things so well, but can you, with an example, help us understand, in a change, how a culture or doing something or not doing something, how that kind of a change can be made more impactful, or you can visibly can see the shift?
Yeah. So the example that comes to my mind is, two things. One is the completely model change that happened with talent when COVID came. We were forced to allow people to work remotely. We were forced, people were going to their home locations.
Right.
We were fine with all of that because of the situation we were in.
Yes.
But what did that 2 years of the entire shift in the way we looked at things and the way we did things, what did that bring on to? To realization that there is a lot of things we could do which we never thought we could, right? So I think, and now when we have gone normalized, making it say that no, we are now moving into a hybrid model. We are asking people to return back to office. This is a very big culture shift.
Yeah.
And it needs to be thought through. I don't think the companies are doing a great job in that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell the employee, why do you want that person to come back to office? What are the benefits, or what's in it for me? What is it going to change? Or even work with the employees to say, what did you miss when you were working virtually?
Yeah.
I've been working virtually for the last 14 years.
So I was putting it very fair enough, right?
And they ask me, and I can tell you what are the advantages and what am I missing by not going to the office. And then you look at return to the office. That is the kind of, then there is the resistance is less. Today what we are doing, we are mandating. And when you mandate, things don't work. Because now people, the employees feel threatened. Oh, I have to go back to my base location. I have to go back to my office 3 days a week, 5 days a week. I'm being monitored. I am being micromanaged. That's not going to be helping us transform the talent. So this is a very big example of culture change, because this is a culture change. Asking people to, beat the traffic, travel for another 1.5 hours and go to the office. That is a very big change. And we have to think through on how do we bring all the people along. Yeah. Co-creation, I think that's become a very important word, which we all have to look at and understand what co-creation means. And the more we do that with the buy-in of the employee, buy-in of the talent, buy-in of everyone, then the simpler the change becomes, the simpler the organizational culture shift becomes.
Absolutely. I mean, see, nobody takes those things into account. Okay, before COVID we used to do this, so after COVID we will go.
Exactly.
It's not as simple as that.
Yeah, you don't even think the way people think of change. Yes. You made that change happen because that was the need of the hour, but you don't realize that the people are now thinking what was wrong with that. I could work from a native place where I had a good internet connection. I was able to stay with my family and yet do my work well at that point of time. So if it was allowed 2 years back, why not now? That's a simple question that any employee or talent, because that employee or talent is also saving money. He doesn't have to shift, or he or she doesn't have to shift into another location, spend money on rent and all the other things. And the person is able to spend time with family, which has become so much more important, with COVID and all the things that have happened over the last couple of years. Family time, your personal time, the me time has become so much more critical. So we have to think through when we expect something from talent, when we are changing the culture or changing the way we operate, we have to be very mindful. Otherwise, we lose talent, because today's talent doesn't worry much about loyalty and sticking to one organization for a very long time. All that was, our times.
Yes.
But now people are, respect, value my time, respect my time, see what you want, what I want, what I want to contribute. I should be part of the organization. That is very critical today. For
Talking is important. Yes, it is. It is. It is. So, any other change, we used to kind of say how change management, whether change management you're using it or not, is so very vital. Why are you not using? But with culture change, it's people. It's like both are with people, the culture as well as change, managing that change. So, what do you think, like how the role of change management should be to change of people?
Yeah, that's a very, very important question. I think every company should have a change management office, if you ask me. Like you have a CEO, CFO, CHRO, all of that. You need a change management office because everything the company undergoes, right from technology change to business transformations to your, culture, everything is change. Everything is change. So if everything that you do right from your company strategy, you have to think. Now AI, the amount of, mindset and priority AI has taken. We need to think there needs to be a change management function per se, who's looking at what is this going to bring in the next 18 months. I don't even want to say 5 years. I was about to say, I said 5 years is quite far.
Yes.
We can't even think of 5 years here, 5-year vision strategy. That is gone. Now, 12 months is a very big, if you have something for the 12, 18 months and you're able to sustain that is a very huge achievement, right?
Yeah.
So there needs to be a change management function that is really going to look at the company strategy and the goals and say that if this is what we want to do, if AI is going to come and this is the shift that's going to happen, then we need to really think, what is the impact of all of this to the people, to the technology, to the talent, to everything, to the policies, responsible AI, to every risk that we may, security, so many things. It's not that one thing that we just roll out, right? And if change management is there right from the beginning, partnering, advising and being with it, then we get into a long-term lasting changes, which is successful, people will adapt to it. For example, today you have a platform, tomorrow the platform doesn't exist, something else exists. People will grumble, people will be unhappy, but they will adapt to the change. It will naturally happen. But do you want it to happen that way? That's the question we need to answer.
Exactly.
And then, think through. So I think the more importance change management is given, the function is given, the importance of it having a seat on the table. It's not a function where you go and say, I'm doing this. And for that, I need to send communications, enablement, training. And, the change management comes and just does it for them. No, that's not change management anymore. Change management is the strategy, the company vision, goal, and how do we make that happen? Bring that to life is what change management is all about.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Like, this was very enlightening. I think the way you put everything together, that how important it is now to the stickiness. I think the stickiness is the main thing, the sustainment. You just don't do things anymore. We do not have neither the time, or I think it would be an absolute wastage to just do things and not get results for it. And the stickiness is all about getting people together and having their and how important it is that the values, the value systems, their behaviors and these mindsets are so important as a consideration to kind of then proceed what you want.
Yes, absolutely. So it was great talking and having this chat with all of you, and looking forward to more of these kind of discussions, forums, which will help us as leadership to spread more within the organization and across the market and industries.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and keep watching the Change Leader Forum. We shall keep having such interesting conversations with leaders who understand the importance of people, change, culture in making things stick. Thank you so much.